is Manju Ramanan and I have two very interesting guests today who I'm going to speak to. This is Priyanka and Abhishek Pilani, and they own SEHIR Clinics, the huge clinic conglomerate from India which has now made a foray into Dubai, and they had a fabulous ceremony 2 days ago when Anil Kapoor came to inaugurate their clinic. So welcome to talking to me, and it'll be lovely talking to you too. I was there at your session, and what a beautiful event that we had day before yesterday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So tell me about coming to Dubai and making this a great venture for you. It's your first overseas clinic, right?
Yeah. So basically, you've already briefed. We are based into skin, cosmetic, hair transplant, majorly having 14 centers back in India. We were planning to have a center in Dubai long back in 2017, but a lot of restrictions, and then when we planned, pandemic happened unfortunately, and then finally 2022 we planned, and finally we are here.
Okay. And of course Dubai is known for its beauty industry. The per capita consumption of beauty products is very high here as well.
Sure.
So why did you choose Dubai? Is that the reason you also chose Dubai? Once that's my question.
That's one of the reasons. Plus, Dubai basically it's a center of entire global, what we say, a destination. It attracts a lot of medical tourism also for aesthetic industry majorly. Also, we had a lot of patients traveling from Dubai to India for the procedures. In fact, there were a lot of nationalities who couldn't travel, so were wanting us to have a setup over here to take the services. So Dubai was always first in the mind whenever we planned our international expansion, and here it is. We came.
So do you think you're already pre-booked for all your sessions?
Yeah, more than pre-booked.
Wonderful. So you just entered Dubai and you're already busy.
So we've been organizing our consulting camps where we've been sharing knowledges and what we do, how we do it differently, almost over a year now, and have had more than 2,500 patients consulted already before our opening. So
in a span of 1 year.
1 year.
So
and I think in all this, word of mouth also works. So since we've had a couple of clients traveling to India already, they've seen excellent results. So they don't hesitate. They would be more than happy to refer, their colleagues and family members. So we have a lot of referrals also, where they're quite excited that now that we are in Dubai and fully functional and operational here. So
also tell me, among all the beauty treatments, what is the most preferred and why?
So we majorly deal into hair transplant surgery. That gives you an aesthetic confidence. Your self-esteem is boosted, and you are changed as a person completely because you can see the difference. I've seen people having a complete transformation, not with hair only, but after getting their hair back, their entire body gets transformed because they start concentrating on themselves.
They feel young, also they're motivated. So then they start going for weight loss. Then they want to suddenly take care of
it. But because hair, it's very evident, and that helps us also because that is how the word of mouth and references develop primarily. And other aesthetic skin services, a lot of Botox, fillers, threads, lasers are there, but people don't speak about it more often, and it's a thing which is under the hidden.
I don't need to. I don't need
so some touch-ups are done and some aesthetic bonus is there.
But that is word of mouth, but secretly.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Not like publicly.
Yeah,
but
people
hair,
will not.
But hair people can't hide.
Hair people can't hide because like in 6 to 8 months, the kind of transformation you've seen.
Right.
Somebody with very low density and now having a head full of hair, it's a transformation in itself.
I'm sure there are a lot of celebrities who are part of your clientele, which we will not talk about.
For sure.
But if you can tell us cases that have really, been challenging, but have, you think about them and say, okay, this I did.
One, very interesting part about SEHIR, I would say, which was of course started by Dr. Abhishek only. We have a segment in the name of Edit by Dr. Abhishek Pilani.
Okay.
That's a very interesting thing, and that's where SEHIR stands apart. So we do a lot of corrective procedures. So we meet a lot of clients where they've undergone hair transplants in the past from other organizations, but very disappointing results. Unnatural hairlines, patchy growth, and they're looking for a second surgery, and of course they're looking for other options now. So we have a separate team of doctors who are having the expertise, the skill, to really help these kind of clients.
That must be a huge number of people because we often see it on social media and how
a lot of blotched up cases, absolutely.
And how, like you said, people travel to different other countries where treatments are cheaper and expertise isn't very high, but then they come back to you.
True.
Major issue is with the with the guidelines, still it came as a very shocking thing to me. Back in India, we still think there are a lot of loopholes and people can just go out of that and do something. In Dubai, what I thought, at least here there will be a lot of ethical practice and everything. But to my knowledge, what I got to know is here also technicians, paramedical staffs are licensed to do a hair transplant surgery. In an ideal condition, it should be done by a dermatologist, a plastic surgeon, or a general practitioner qualified or trained for it.
Right.
It's not just a degree, but it is an art which requires a lot of skills, a lot of ethical practice, a lot of efforts are put behind.
Right.
It shouldn't be taken as a commercial part and just try to do it a single day procedure, 12-day procedure, and just for the sake of doing it.
Majorly
So when you
because
say-
it's time consuming.
And when you say ethical practice, what do you exactly mean, if you can tell me?
Ethical practice means, that's what I mentioned, it has to be, the entire procedure needs to be done by a doctor, where most of the organizations, majorly people don't do it themselves. Like a dermatologist or a plastic surgeon, if they are occupied doing a transplant, what we take for a patient maybe 4 days, 5 days, 6 days also, they cannot retain other patients. So majorly what happens is done under their supervision and done by a technician or a paramedical staff or a nursing staff. Though they are allowed to do, they have their certificates and everything, but that is, they are trained for a month and getting it done. Dermatologist or plastic surgeon requires 11 to 12 years for their degree to get qualified to do this, and then the entire experience of that 12 years is adding on to the final results what
Which
are
is
coming.
why you call them professionals.
Right,
Because they're
right.
also so many years in the profession. And you said skills such an important part of this whole process.
Entire thing. And also a doctor doing a procedure and a paramedical, there will be a lot of difference when you have a relation with a patient. A doctor-patient relation is going to be a doctor will always be more concerned and more careful about everything.
It won't be a mechanical job, more of beautifying you, right?
Yes, yes.
So definitely a surgeon personally performing will totally change the way the results can be.
Yeah, because he's more concerned about
Of
the
course, of
overall
course.
health of
Right.
the patient as well. And like you said, people start and then transform into
Multiple other
looking.
things.
Yeah,
So what are your best cases? If you can just tell us case studies. You don't need to take names, of course. But what are the best cases that
Case
you're very
study,
proud of?
very proud of. There are multiple now because of the edit what Priyanka spoke about. We had a patient who had three past transplants done. So in a transplant, hair transplant, what happens when you go for a transplant, even if the results are not there, the major problem is the donor gets exhausted because you cannot use anyone else's hair. So already going for the 3 transplants, the donor was almost minimal. It was hardly anything left, and we had to cover the entire scalp, and that is what we had promised, and we could successfully do it. And a huge transformation is there. So
He's personally operated on that patient. I would not obviously mention the name,
But yeah,
but yeah.
But thrice, huh?
yeah, thrice
Thrice
already.
failed.
And you
Thrice
also had
failed.
that much patience to come back and
So he was that convincing was Dr. Priyanka. She convinced and took the responsibility.
Because it was
that
the
we do.
4th, frankly, he had the last chance. See, there are people who want to spend money and time, but there are limitations because in a transplant, like he mentioned, the backside of your scalp, that's your donor.
Yeah.
Once that is scarred and exhausted, there's no scope of going for another transplant. So this was like a do or die situation. It was the last chance for him.
Wow, so that
But he was in the best hands, so
So
luckily
he
he's very happy.
thrilled. I mean, when you see the happiness.
Way.
Of course,
So
of
that is what it's a blessing coming from thousands of patients every day.
Yeah,
Every day they get up and look themselves in the mirror, and we get the
Thank
blessing.
you.
So
Oh,
that's
yeah, it's so
that's the reason
Lot of
it's
dua
the
for you.
ethical. A lot of blessings for sure.
Also, the fact that hair transplant is not necessarily for men; it's also for women, is what you said.
Definitely.
And you have a lot of patients coming from here who also indulge
Yes.
in it. So tell me about that, because usually hair transplant in men is what we hear about.
That's true, and
we don't usually hear
yeah,
about.
yeah. But frankly, see now if you see women,
Yeah.
especially the stress levels, the
Yeah.
kind of lifestyle we have,
Yeah.
thyroid, PCOD, even post-pregnancy, there are a
Right,
couple of
right.
triggering factors because of which
Right.
it's not just a regular hair fall. They
Right.
experience the hair loss, the baldness is there,
Yeah.
and no matter how many medications or treatments you take,
Right.
you cannot address the problem when it's baldness. So transplant is the right choice.
Right.
We have luckily a lot of women clients who have from Dubai also traveled to India and taken these hair transplant procedures and got very, very successful results. We have a separate team of doctors especially having the expertise to deal with female clients in terms of, because the kind of hand stability, skill, precision you need
Right,
with women because the kind of skin they have, the kind of scalp they have.
Right.
Plus they have a lot of existing hair.
Right.
Working with existing hair, you have to give the kind of transplant. So yeah, definitely, and we've had a good amount of female clients under Assure having excellent results post transplant.
And is there anything customized for this region that you feel that will work better than what does in India? Or clients are
we are following the same formula, ethical practice, give 100%, give the best results and
I
quality.
think giving a lot of time to the client is
I'm
more.
talking about as an Arabic, in the Arabic market. Are there any specific demands that you also cater to? Is what I want to know.
It's all everywhere across the globe. Aesthetic is doing under all categories equally well. Even in India, not in metro cities, but in 2-tier, 3-tier cities, people are equally getting Botox fillers done at the age of 20, 25 also.
So when you look at people, are you actually wondering are they Botoxed or not?
Frankly, we just look at the head. It's the first thing we notice for anyone, any restaurants or any.
We first notice the scalp and then probably we evaluate the
we
skin.
may be able to identify a person by scalp more than their face.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's almost like a fortune telling.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about me.
No, you have lovely hair. You don't need anything. You're
lovely,
blessed. Don't
healthy
worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So also the fact that desalination is part of this. I mean, the water is desalinated here. So there is a lot of hair related issues that people deal with. So that also opens up a lot of
that's one of the aggravating factors. It's a multiple factorial thing. People have this in mind that after coming to Dubai they lost more hair. Practically, frankly, it's the entire scalp which is undergoing the same water or other stress or environment and everything. You'll always see you'll always see a person balding from the center, front and crown. You'll not see from the back they are losing it, and they are not using any different water for that. Right. It is multifactorial. Hormone forms the base of it, and then there are multiple aggravating factors.
It need not be just water.
Yeah, it is
One
just
of
an
the
aggravating
triggering factors, maybe the genetic factors and other things also play a very important role.
Also, do you also work with children and hair?
Majorly, I ask avoid to do. Living a proper diet is majorly what I'll advise.
Also, which I wanted to ask you is, we spoke about cancer survivors. And would you work with them as well?
Why not? Why not? If they are completely taken care of and in sync with a concerned oncologist or the operating doctor, if the treatments are over, because we are not giving any additional medicines or anything, we can surely opt for a transplant if required.
Yeah, that's the best part that he mentioned. So the kind of transplants we are doing, the best part is you are on zero maintenance. There are no hormonal tablets or any kind of excessive medications. So post the transplant for your entire life, you don't have to take any kind of medication. So there is no side effects or any reactions. So somebody who's a cancer survivor, well healed and not into an active stage, definitely we have done such cases as well. If the donor allows,
Right. And what are your expansion plans now? Why happen?
Expansion plans, probably we are planning to expand a few more centers in India and 4 to 5 centers in around GCC.
India mein you already have 14 centers.
We have so we have lot of things to explore. Hyderabad, Chennai, Kochi, Chandigarh, Gurgaon, South is
we have one in
left,
Bangalore,
North is also left. So
and it will be simultaneous. But Dubai is just the beginning, that's for sure.
In the GCC.
Yes,
and then you continue for more.
We're quite excited about that.
Wonderful. Okay, so tell me about your products. I think a lot of products have been already introduced in India. Tell me about what are the products and how are you expanding?
Sure. So all the skin and hair products we've launched, but of course that's in India, and we also have our Assure app. So that is the easiest because now you're just like a tap away because you are having the app in your mobile and you can probably consult with our dermatologist, even without visiting the clinic. We are yet to launch that in GCC in Dubai, but very soon even those products and the app would be available in Dubai as well.
Fabulous. Thank you very much for speaking to me. And you aim to be one of the best brands in the world. I'm sure it's an Indian brand for us.
Not one of the best, but the best one for sure.
Definitely. From our end, we want to give our best so that we have all satisfied customers.
Also, we're very proud that you're in Dubai because an Indian brand has again made its foray. So it becomes very proud for all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
So I'm in conversation with Mr. SATHISH SUBBIAH and Ms. SEHIR, and they are also the partners in the business of Assure Clinics that we just spoke to. We spoke to the founders, and these are the partners in the business as well. And we talked to them about why did they support this venture and more. So tell me, you also come from, you don't come from Dubai, but you live
we moved here in 2015. We used to live in London before. So I set up an asset management firm. So we moved here in 2015 and Sarah and I love it here. I think I tried the idea of at some stage moving back to London, but
no, I didn't fall for that. I come originally from Glasgow in Scotland, and I met Sathish in London.
Okay.
Like you said, moved here in 2015. Took some time to get used to Dubai, but you know, once I've got used to it, I don't want to move back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why did you decide to support Azure?
so no, I think look, I met Doctor about a year ago. Instantly, there was a meeting of minds, in terms of what we were trying to achieve together. Because what I liked about Ashur is, in a very short span of time, in 6 years, he's managed to kind of expand to 14 different centers in India. So it's a tried and tested, kind of proven concept.
Right.
And Dubai, being Dubai, aesthetics is everything.
Yes.
And in the world of social media, everybody is in pursuit of looking good at all times.
Right.
So I thought Dubai would be a perfect fit for a business like Ashur to be established here.
Right.
So we had a shared vision in terms of what we want to achieve for Dubai, and our plan is to kind of continue growing in the Middle East. We have already identified some cities in Saudi, in Bahrain, and further expansion into Europe, starting with London, and so on. So very excited about partnering with them.
Okay, so when is the Saudi operations?
In fact, we're looking at potentially by the year end, we'll start the project with a view to having the center up and ready by probably end of the year or first quarter of next year.
Right. And how do you see the beauty business in this part of the world grow? Because there are already players in the market. How do you position yourself?
I think SEHIR is a much better expert of
I mean, like you rightly said, Dubai is the hub in the Middle East for vanity, beauty, all that. In fact, I have family and friends who come from the UK to have treatments done here.
Wow.
So because most of the renowned cosmetic surgeons or top professionals are based here, and they have a massive following. So I see Dubai as a great hub, but then what Dr. Abhishek and Ashur bring is something very different and unique. I mean, he has got a massive following, and not only does he do the the actual treatment procedure himself, but there's a lot of cases that are rectifications of other people's work.
Yeah.
And there's lots of failed procedures that have happened, and he's been able to put that right, which sets him apart from the other.
Which is not what
surgeons.
everyone does.
Exactly.
Right? You don't touch
Fixing other people's mess. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. That's what it is in a nutshell. Yeah.
And we see that all over social media and over celebrities and things, and say, okay,
Yeah.
what went wrong?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I think there is a general feeling in the market that this thing doesn't work, right? And I've personally seen some friends of mine getting the procedure done with Dr. Abhishek, and they've seen the kind of result that they didn't expect. I was, surprised to see a guy who was completely bald and suddenly he's with a full head of hair.
It's a great boost to your self-confidence.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So that gives me a lot of comfort that in the future, if I need to fix myself up,
It's all you have invested correctly.
and maybe I might qualify for a small discount.
So what do you? So when you come to Dubai and you see all of this, and you were part of the show, yes. 2 days ago, you had Anil Kapoor.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of celebrities are also part of your venture. Are they?
Yeah. Doctor obviously deals with these matters with complete discretion. Is very professional about it.
Right.
But yeah, we were, extremely thrilled to have Anil Kapoor for the event.
Right.
I think it was truly the start of the event.
Yes.
My wife is a big fan of him.
I've been watching him since I was 19. Well, I was born in 1981, so I've been watching since a little girl.
Okay.
And my aunt is a biggest fan. She's in Houston now, but yeah, I've grown up seeing.
Videos?
Yeah, I was sending her videos, and she's like, "I can't believe this." I've been watching him all my life, so it was great to have him.
Right.
And he was lovely to see. He's a very humble,
Yes.
very nice person, so it was great to have him here.
Right. So do you see beauty standards across the world now being homogeneous? It's not like, at one point of time you only have these procedures happen in certain parts of the world. But do you see today, because of, the explosion of social media, the fact that everybody thinks in a similar way, you have, which is why you could expand as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think it's, I come from the kind of world of investment banking, wealth management, and we look at sectors that are to invest in, which are
Growing.
relatively recession-proof and continues to grow in a sustainable way.
Right.
And I would say this sector falls well within that kind of remit. I think, like you rightly said, with the rise in social media and people are very self-aware in terms of how they want to appear, it's got the potential to sustain itself and the growth.
Yeah.
So we want to be part of it, but we want to be associated with the right professionals, because we've invested in personally and through the business in many different sectors, but this is our first investment into the kind of cosmetic, aesthetic space.
Right.
So yeah, I see a long-term potential in this, but how you express that conviction is important.
Right.
So that's why when we met, when I met Doctor, and then subsequently when SEHIR met Doctor, we were instantly convinced
Yes.
that he would be the right partner for us.
And Saudi is your next venture, so you chose
Yes.
Saudi for your next added.
Absolutely. I think, Dubai can serve the much wider market. I think Turkey was very successful in bringing a lot of healthcare tourism.
Right.
I think Dubai can serve that purpose given its location. But having a center in the region, in other cities in the region, makes perfect sense, because Saudi is ever expanding and
Yes.
with the kind of growth plans that they
Do
are
you
going
have
through.
more than one centers in Saudi, because it's a massive.
So it'll be
Yes.
Riyadh and Jeddah to start with,
Okay.
and potentially Bahrain, which could cover the northern part of Saudi as well.
Right.
So for now, we are thinking of 4 to 5 centers in the Middle East.
Okay.
Obviously, we just had the launch of Dubai,
Yes.
and then within the next 18 to 24 months, the idea is to have all of these 4 or 5 centers up and running.
I've also been told that a lot of cases have been pre-booked already.
Absolutely.
Clinics started.
I mean, the kind of work ethic Dr. Abhishek and his team have is phenomenal. I mean, that alone was enough for me that I've chosen the right partner. And they've had about 10, 12 camps, I suppose, in the
That's
last
right, 12.
So
10
when
months.
you say camps, what do you mean?
So they had a lot of interest from people who wanted to get the procedure done.
Right.
So they met Doctor and his team either in India or in Dubai, and they all are in the waiting list.
Okay.
I
So
think
they can be accommodated here.
yeah. So I think there's about 50 odd pre-booked
Okay.
session. I think we had the launch on Sunday, and they got on with the procedures on Monday.
Monday,
So
Wow.
So-
That's a good opening.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
opening. Start business immediately.
absolutely.
Fabulous. So apart from treatments, is there expansion on the product line as well?
Yes, so we have other verticals, which is the skincare and the hair care products as well. So Doctor has established some hair care line, which will cater for the procedures that he's done
Right.
for his patients. And then on the cosmetic side, we've invested, we've researched and then subsequently invested in a lot of new technology and machines that will help in the aesthetic side when it comes to skincare.
Fabulous. So you are going to make all of us look very beautiful.
Yes, that's, we're all in pursuit of
Yeah,
making the world beauty.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to me. Thank you.